So attachment theory is a study of how our early experiences with our parents sort of frame and develop our expectations of other people, and then how we adapt based on those expectations. So as an example, if our parents are really there for us and there for our feelings, then we really learn to trust that people will be there and that we can have our emotions, we can connect and come close. If there's a lot of neglect and my parents are not there, then we kind of maybe have an adaptation of, I'm just going to take care of myself and really pull in. And then that becomes such a habit that then we sort of just carry that along through our life, not even maybe all that aware of it. So attachment theory really looks at the couple main types of adaptations, whether it's to be more pulled in and kind of hyper independent, which my mentor calls that being an island, just for a simple word for it. Whether that looks like more like clinging and kind of like doing things, even if it's, I'd rather be fighting with you than disconnected, like just to get a reaction, just to get some contact. That would be more like what you might call a wave. Or if it's something like, I'm comfortable with contact, but I can also be independent, which is sort of the healthiest option. You could call that anchor. So, I'll talk to my clients about what the differences are between those so we can explore what their attachment style is. It definitely helps them understand sometimes their relationship, even to their own feelings, but also certainly to other people. It's kind of everybody wants to be an anchor, because that's the secure, it's like what's called secure attachment style. It means you're really comfortable with closeness, but you're also comfortable with distance. That being said, they're all workable strategies. There's really no better or worse. Somebody who's an island can have a lovely relationship where they really know how to take care of their partner and have a lot of success. And same with a wave. So it's really just kind of knowing who you are and embracing that, and your partner embracing that. And maybe that can heal over time, but it's almost like through accepting ourselves is more likely to heal versus being frustrated with our partner or ourselves for being sort of how we're wired. That brings me to a kind of a side question, but that I think is useful, which is really understanding the difference between self-esteem and self-compassion. Because we hear a lot about self-esteem, and it's a positive thing, but it actually has some positive and some negatives with it too. Like it can make more arrogance and things like that, where self-compassion is 100% positive. And the difference, this is coming out of the work of Kristen Neff, who is in Austin, and she's kind of the self-compassion guru. So she's a wonderful person to know about. Self-esteem is beautiful, but it's still based on judgment. It's saying, I think I'm so smart or creative, or I like myself because I'm really, beautiful or whatever, It's good to know and enjoy our positives, our strengths. But self-compassion is really myself, just like every other human being, deserves to be treated with kindness. And the nice thing about self-compassion is just in that moment where self-esteem sort of deserts us, when we've made a mistake or we've had a failure, we didn't get the job we wanted or something, and it's like, that's right when we need something, and that's where self-compassion can really come in and kind of lift us up and put wind in our sails again. So there's nothing negative about self-compassion. And one thing I'll have to coach my clients on sometimes is they think if they're not hard on themselves, that they'll lose motivation. They'll become lazy or something. But really the research says just the exact opposite. That the more we berate ourselves, attack ourselves, critical of ourselves, it puts stress on, it's actually like being under attack all the time, which raises our cortisol levels, which is very stressful for our brain and makes our brain not function as well. And it kind of shuts us down and makes us anxious, and it makes it less likely to be successful and motivated. So sometimes that's a helpful piece of psychoed, because it's like, okay, no, you really can give up that critical voice that thinks it's there making you do the right thing, but really actually just messes with you. And compassion actually helps motivate. It's just like you would with a child, like, oh, you didn't do good, it's like you love them and then you can do it. Like, I believe in you. It's much more encouraging.